because you really push this idea of experimental with, and I'm sure that's cloth, right? There's some sort of cloth there.
This is fabric. And this is
Fabric. Okay.
paper.
All right. My only critique on this is when you're working with very organic materials, if you're going to integrate materials that are that far afield, like the little pieces of glass, make them work. They're too random, and they're not quite. They don't really fit with the rest of this. They look like they were just. Now you did give a nice. I mean, it's not where they are. It's not how they're placed. That's great. It's just because they're reflective and everything else is. They tend to just look like a. Well, they look more like an accident than something that really contributed to the whole. That's about as negative as I can say because after all, it's experimental. And I think what you did with the way you moved this around and the way you handled the dry brush and all, even the way you repeated the circle of the format, I think you're going in some good directions. But stay away from mixing, the random things. If you'd done a cluster of these somewhere, it might have worked better. And I'm not suggesting you do that. Again, look at what other artists, I'm going to give you a suggestion. Look at Alberto Buri. He did a lot of work with fabric, and a lot of other artists have keyed off that. And I'm not saying you copy his work necessarily because he had a whole different thing. But look at how he used fabric, almost like landscape, and some of the things he did. In fact, some of his stuff was really related to his experience in World War I. He was a medic, so some of it looks like, because he was using reds with burlap, look like wounds. So that may not be where you want to go, but I'm just saying his use of fabrics, and you'll find other artists that are working with mixed media with fabric as well. That's a good place to start. Alberto, Buri.